Great Monday evening there, Wolfpack Nation. Welcome to our weekly live cast of the Tuffy Talk. Well, there he is, actually right on time. I was just taking over for Leighton. He was having some technical issues. Sir, the floor is yours as you are our fearless leader. I'll get those words out right. I'm very tired this week.
Well, I would presume so for sure. We'll definitely talk about that. But what's going on, Wolfpack Nation? You got Leighton tuning in here. First of all, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that jazz. Excited to be here, and again, just excited to talk all things NC State as we wrap up here in 2025, which overall has been a very, very great year for sure for NC State fans. Believe it or not, look through the negative a little bit, just push it aside a little bit, and man, you see some gold there for sure. And we'll talk all about it here today. But you got myself, Leighton Smith, Greg Legg, Carson joining us here. So excited to talk about all things. But if you've been with us, you know the drill. But if you haven't been with us, any questions, comments, thoughts, requests, whatever it may be, make sure to put them in the chat and we will get to them here today. But with that being said, let's start off with the big piece here first. The piece that's in the thumbnail here for sure, which is NC State football wrapping up the 2025 season in a dominant fashion for sure. I mean, just highlighting those last 3 games, the last 4 out of the last 5, etc. I mean, it definitely goes to for sure the statement of it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And man, those last 3 wins are beautiful to say the least. Obviously, with a big win against Florida State, which wasn't the prettiest win, but whenever Florida State, love to see that. And then obviously dominating your rival in your home stadium, and then going to the Gasparilla Bowl and really putting it just out of even thought by the time halftime was around. I mean, it was over. Probably I would say even after the first quarter, after being up 17-0 or so. I was pretty much and the fact that Memphis wasn't even able to cross the 50 for the most part, just what a game. But with that being said, Greg, I know obviously, like you said, tired. It's been a crazy ass last few days for sure. What was the experience being back to Raymond James for the bowl game?
Yeah, at least somebody's winning in Raymond James these days.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
No, it's all good. A lot of
Panthers fans that are probably tuning in. I know Mackenzie is banging down your door right now. So
she was. I was. We went and got some dinner after the men's basketball game, and we watched the end of it, and we'll leave it at that. But
Yep.
No, it was awesome going back home. For those that don't know, that's my hometown, and it was just great to kind of go back, even though it was a very, very quick trip in and out of Tampa. Got some good eats. Weather was amazing. Got on TV a couple more times. It's just
Yep.
so much fun though. But more importantly, like you said, the Pack got an easy bowl victory. It was 24-0 before Memphis even scored. Everything was just clicking right for the Pack on Friday. So just glad that we could end the season with one more W in the good column.
Yeah. Carson, where'd you watch the game from, buddy?
Watched at home with mom.
Nice.
Yeah, I think overall just dominating performance. We almost got a Caden Fordham pick six.
Oh yes,
That would have been great.
sick. That would have been a sick way to go out for sure. But
yeah. And pretty much everyone played besides Hollywood.
Yeah, no, and let's talk about that first, because I think honestly, if we're looking big picture here, y'all, I think honestly that's probably the most positive thing you could take out of this whole bowl game is the fact that you only really had one guy sit out of the starting lineup. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but there's rumors before the game that Brandon Cleveland, Jacarius Peak were going to sit out. That didn't happen. Jolie was going to sit out. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
And all
whoever did that tweet, that was just ridiculous. I don't know who it came from or where it came from, but that's just annoying as hell.
Yeah. Well, but hey, I know Barstool Pack was part of the team that put that out. Now I don't know who put it out first, but Barstool was part of the team that put it out. And I know Brandon Cleveland actually, I can't remember what the comment was, but actually put in a comment being like, I don't know about that. So like Michelle says, fake media.
Yeah, I have a text thread with some friends and family, and one of the guys was like, Julie's out, and I'm like, I hadn't heard anything. He goes, hold on a second. And he texted Jolie's dad and goes, nope, fake news. It's not happening. So then we knew the rest of it was just garbage after that too. But more importantly, back to the original fact that, it just shows how much this team wanted to finish the season together, go out on the right note. What they started. And that it just goes to the character and the type of players that Coach Dorham tries to bring into the program.
Yeah. Well, and for me, it comes back to as well, and I'm curious to y'all's thoughts. So, the fact that Hollywood sat out for me was disappointing more because of the fact that I really wanted that first 1,000-yard rusher since 2018, and Smothers would have easily gotten it for sure during this game, easily, maybe within the first two drives.
It might have gotten to 2,000 yards if
he only needed like 50.
Yeah, like 50, 58, something. It was
2 drives. You got it. So, but I do want to ask, because there's no doubt. Like you see from the tweets, things like that. Like he was still 100% supportive of his brothers here for sure. Was cheering on Duke for sure. So I kind of say it as is the fact that Duke has been playing so well. Probably. Do you think that kind of fed in all into Smothers' decision, knowing that, hey, listen, by me sitting out, that means Duke gets to go out here in the bowl game and shine?
No, I think I want to be careful how I say this because there's
I'm trying to take the positive light, but I get it. Go ahead.
Go
for it.
No, if some of the things that I heard were true, you would have liked to have it been handled a little bit better. But from all accounts that he was like dealing with a foot/ankle injury, which, probably, if it was a regular season game against Carolina, he probably goes, right? But in a quote unquote meaningless bowl game, it's probably not worth the long-term ramifications of what could happen. But that being said, I would have loved for him to been there in Florida with his teammates to at least finish it out.
Sure.
I understand him not playing for those very reasons that I said, but again, I think it maybe could have been handled a little bit better. And I know he's going into the portal, but like we've already seen a number of guys' names going into the portal like since the bowl game. I mean, you couldn't wait 24, 48 hours. That it wouldn't have really changed the status of how things would have played out for his long-term future. But again, I don't want to dwell on that part. I want to more focus on the guys that were there and finish this season out. And I am thankful very much for what Hollywood did for this team, because without him, we wouldn't have gotten to 8-5. Like he was a very much valuable piece to the puzzle this year.
Agreed. So, let's talk honestly. For me, the one which I was a little bit, I think most State fans were kind of concerned would not play, and that was CJ Bailey. And came into this game, threw 14 of 25 for 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Also added, it's funny, keep in mind that when college football is different than NFL, where sacks count as negative rushing yards against you.
So
So
stupid.
this rushing stat line is honestly hilarious. 7 rushes for 0 yards, but he had a rushing touchdown. So
in a
literally
long of 14 yards.
and along at 14 yards, like
Mhm.
if you did not watch this game and look at that stat line, you go, that is literally not possible. How can you have 0 rushing yards but get a touchdown? It's honestly hilarious. So, but
Yeah.
spread the ball around. No player had actually only Wesley Grimes had 3 catches. Everybody else had 2 catches or less. So really spread the ball around a ton here for sure. But Carson, what'd you think about CJ's play?
Yeah, I thought he played really confident, getting all his guys involved. I think that's really good. You want your leader to be able to incorporate as many of his players as he can, and I think
Mm-hmm.
it shows how well he's identified with this team and the coaching staff, as well as his teammates.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the other big thing and actually here before I jump to another player here, Greg, anything you'd add to that regarding CJ?
No, regardless of, again, talking about the Hollywood side of it, no matter what happens with CJ, whether he stays or goes, he at the end of the day, he played in the bowl game, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, I mean, because definitely sitting here, and then we'll kind of talk again about big picture here to kind of wrap up the football piece here a little bit. But in terms of, how this season looks, the fact also, too, because people might say, well, it was meaningless. It's Memphis. It didn't have their head coach. I mean, they had said, I mean, the commentators said when they interviewed the Memphis players that this game meant a lot to them because they wanted to add a Power 4 win to the resume, and, they did not even sniff it the entire time. So, love to see that. But also, too, got to give a huge shout outs to Duke Scott, man. I mean, 19 carries for 108 yards, average 5.7 yards a carry. I would have loved to see him get in the end zone just to, reward that a little bit. But, it didn't work out, but that's fine. But honestly, though, Greg, watching that game, that 35-yard scamper that he got, I was like, oh, like, man, that I don't know. You run that play 100 times. He might have gotten clipped on 10 of them, and that just happened to be one that he got clipped on. So
Yeah. It was just a weird game. Like
yeah,
it was like a great first half, very dominant, going in 31-7 at the half, and then you basically don't really do anything in the second half.
nope.
We try to get cute there on a fake field goal, which that play just made absolutely 0 sense,
Yeah,
especially when you had Vineset already kick a 51-yard field goal. You're like, okay. But so that was weird. Defense. I mean, the defense was great all day.
yeah,
They put the clamps down on Memphis. And again, this was a Memphis team that had won 8 games, and I think that kind of goes back to the State is like the only team to have 8 wins and beat teams that had 8 wins. Like it had 8. We won 8 games, and we
against
played 8
teams.
teams that had 8 or more victories.
Yep, there you
So
go.
yeah,
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 little tongue twister there.
it is, but the fact that this team just kind of came together, a lot of adversity this year, with all the injuries we had, with um, Coach Elliott's daughter passing away, like there was just so
Yeah,
much that this team fought through, a lot of adversity. And again, you hit the low point with the Virginia Tech loss, and the wheels could have come off very easily, and it
mhm,
didn't. And again, for as much crap as fans give Dave Dorn, and I'm not putting Dave Dorn on my back and doing whatever, carrying his water for him. He doesn't need that, but he just goes and gets 8 wins. I mean, that's just what he does. Can we break through that wall, or get over that hump? I would love for it to happen, but again, it's an 8-win season where, you know, the Vegas before everything had us at 6.5 wins. Again, that's not with the bowl, but
Right.
it's just another, 5 out of the last 6 seasons, 8 wins or more from this
Yep.
program. And I don't know, like, do I want 9 wins? Do I want 10 wins? Absolutely. But I mean, I consider this a fairly successful season.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, and Carson, I want to get your thoughts here, but I mean, like, especially looking back again, hindsight 2020 here. I mean, it actually ended up being a pretty tough schedule. I mean, ECU being a 8-9 win team, Virginia borderline making the playoffs, Wake Forest won 9 games, Duke AC champion, Virginia Tech, Campbell not so much, but Notre Dame borderline playoff, Pitt was top 15, top 20, Georgia Tech top 20, top 25. Miami made it to the playoffs. Florida State, they've bitten a few people already, so that easily
beat Bama.
Yeah, they beat Bama. And then Carolina. So I mean, so basically 10 of those 12 games I listed are like, okay, those are pretty solid wins there. So yeah, no, definitely. Again, total hindsight 2020 here. I think there's a lot to build off of. But also too as well, it's going to be a very interesting offseason here. I think here in the next probably month or two, you're going to learn a lot here of how this team's going to look for next year. But Carson, what would you kind of if you were to kind of look back at this season, and obviously my thing right here saying hashtag team extend Dorn. That's just because I'm a Dorn lover, but also too just to stir the pot for anybody who's out there being like, what? Extend Dorn, like, no, but again, just like it goes back to what you were saying, Greg. Like, it's like, listen, it's gonna have to be a very light coaching carousel out there in terms of the number of teams that are looking for a coach for me to say, you know what, this isn't enough. I want to move on from this guy and go find something else, unless there's a perfect option out there, or unless Dorn decides to step back. But with that being said, we owe him too much money. He just won you 8 games. He's won 8 games in 4 of the last 6 years, if I'm not mistaken.
5 of the 6, I think it is.
5 of the last 6. That's right. Yeah. Because you're not extending. You're going 2020 plus. So no. So anyway, Carson, what would you say? Taking a look back at the season here.
Yeah, I think it was a very Dave Dorn season.
Yep.
8 wins, beating Carolina, a really good win in Georgia Tech, and then really just out of their loss with Virginia Tech and Duke.
The head scratcher, the annual head scratcher.
Yep.
Yes.
But once again, though, Carson, Greg, keep in mind that if we had beaten Virginia Tech and Duke, then we would have made the ACC championship, right? I mean, like, just maybe enough teams don't understand that if you just win all your games, then you go to the championship. It's really that simple, guys. So just win every game. Don't lose any games, okay? Like, maybe just every coach doesn't understand that. So,
do you guys know who Ryan McGee is from ESPN? Do you guys know who he is? Yeah. He had the greatest tweet of all time. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it's he said, "I grew up an NC State fan, a solid bowl win, beating their 2 biggest rivals." He's counting ECU in that, which I don't know if they're our biggest rival, but I know Carson. I know Carson. You replied to that tweet, I believe.
Yes.
And then it says upsetting a top 10 team, but also losing 5 games. That's a chef's kiss of a Wolfpack season.
Mm-hmm. But here's my thing, though, too, as well, is that, like, yes, Dorn in his tenure definitely has had some head scratching losses for sure. I would say, well, yeah, I mean, so I would say with O'Brien, it was more of a yearly basis. There's been a handful of years that Dorn hasn't had maybe a complete head scratcher loss.
I think last year, I don't think there were any like head scratchers. I mean, probably the closest one would be Wake, but Grayson McCall got hurt in the first 5 minutes.
Right.
So
yeah,
that kind of cancels out. Every other loss from 24 made sense to some extent. Syracuse had some like what the heck moments, but it wasn't necessarily a what the heck loss overall.
No, that was a really good
when you lose Grayson McCall, the head scratchers come off of the table, if you will, because now you have a rookie quarterback playing.
Right. Yeah, full on rookie.
Yeah, the expectations dramatically change when you're bringing in a true freshman. For a quarterback, but yeah, you're right. Probably not every year, but it definitely feels pretty close to it.
Yeah.
I think the last,
I mean,
Boston College at home.
The Louisville loss from 23, not necessarily because of who we lost to, more so in the way we lost, I think.
Yeah.
And again,
that's part of what I was getting at.
That's the Virginia Tech loss this year, where it's like hindsight 2020. Like, if we had just found a way to win that game, that 23 season would have looked a lot differently in terms of us potentially going championship. And this year, if we had beaten Virginia Tech, we would have been looking at going to a championship. But again, it's just things haven't gone Dorn's way. That's the thing. Is like I'm sitting here saying, you know what? I mean, looking at Pitt making it, Virginia making it. I'm still sitting here saying, if you give me the law of averages over the next 5 years, which program is going to have more success in terms of from a wins perspective, I think Kansas State's gonna win that over the next 5 years. But
speaking of that, like look at next year's schedule, like that just got released last week. It's like on the surface, right? On the surface, as of today, now transfer portal changes, all of that.
Yep.
It's very doable. It's
Vanderbilt's the toughest game.
Oh, by far.
Yeah, but again, who do they bring in at quarterback, right? Because I think isn't their quarterback done?
Yeah,
but
I think Fabio is done.
Yeah. So again, that's what I'm saying, right? Like quarterback play means everything in college football and in football and in general. So who are you bringing in? UVA, they're going to have a change at quarterback. Like, what is that going to look like for them? But I feel like they're more on the upswing, and then in Vanderbilt as well. So there's those are two tough games. I honestly still think Virginia is going to be the toughest game, just because it's the first game of the season. It's in a foreign country.
Yep.
Is there going to be distractions with that? It's the first game of the season. You don't know what you're getting. But the rest of it, I think, is very favorable.
Yeah.
And also, it's a revenge game for Virginia. So they're going to try to fire it up.
That's right.
And it's a conference game this time.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
Jim Phillips is making more head scratchers every day.
He is.
Yeah.
He is for sure. Yeah. But also too got to give a shout out here to P-Riv. Phillip Rivers starting right now on Monday Night Football versus the 49ers.
7-0 Colts.
What's that?
7-0 Colts.
7-0 Colts. Let's go.
Did anybody see the billboard in Alabama that it was like, dadgummit, let's get excited for Monday Night Football, and it had Phillip Rivers on it was like a digital billboard. It was pretty good. I wish I could find a copy of it, but it was pretty well done.
Yeah, and it's so funny because luckily enough we get to look at it through the lens of NC State fans, so we just get to look at how happy and excited. But obviously, oh wow, a 20-yard touchdown pass by Phillip Rivers. Wow, that is impressive. Okay, you know what? Everything I was about to say, put out the window. So excited, Phillip Rivers
He's back,
He's playing phenomenal. He's back, baby. Let's go. Love that. Cool.
This is the year of old quarterbacks. I mean,
it is.
Aaron Rodgers has had a resurgence year. Flacco had a nice little thing earlier.
Baker Mayfield,
shut your mouth.
Yeah, no. Hey, you know what? Hey, my boy Mike Evans, I feel for him, man. I'm sad that 1,000-yard record's got to come to an end. So, but anyway, though, Moonshine saying, Greg saw you on TV. Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, it's part of ESPN notes being like, are you doing an NC State game? Well, you got to find the guy in the gray beard, not the fake guy in the gray beard, the true guy in the gray beard. With NC State stuff all over, all up and down him. So,
it's 2 years in a row that I led off the bowl game in the intro. I led off the Military Bowl last year, so 1-1. So hopefully, whatever bowl game we make next year, I can be the lead-in for that, and then we can finish the little series, and we can go 2-1.
Let's go.
But no, it was a fun day. I was grilling, and then local sports anchor came and found me in the parking lot, and so we talked about that, and I got it at the pep rally. I got interviewed by the Air Force. That was fun. Ironically, it was the Air Force recruiting, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not really the guy you're looking to recruit there, buddy, but I'm happy to talk to you. I'm old and fat. So,
I was gonna say, what are they talking?
No, so what they did was they had a couple of local airmen from MacDill Air Force Base there as honorary team captains for the game. And so the guy that was representing the pack, he just was talking to me about some stuff about NC State and and there's some general questions, and I was the only one that actually guessed his occupation in the Air Force, so that was pretty cool.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, it
Okay.
was fun. I won a Gasparilla. I was trying to find my Gasparilla T-shirt that I won to wear it today, but I couldn't find it.
Dang it. It's in the
Me and
wash.
yeah, probably. We won me and Ryan's buddy Sam. We won an event there at the pep rally, and we won Gasparilla T-shirts.
What
So
was
that
the event?
we had to wear a hook on our hand and then toss rings at each other and catch
Catch it.
yeah.
That's
We
sweet.
it was a 2-minute game, and we were down 8 at one point and rallied to come back to win the event. And Coach Doran was there, like getting excited for us. And
Really?
yeah, I was
Oh,
giving
that's
high
sick.
fives to CJ and Caden Fordham and
Let's go.
Anthony Carter. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, it was. I was joking with someone. I think there was more people in the band than fans for Memphis. It was
Yeah.
definitely a one-sided affair from State. They announced 13,000 for the game. Probably 10,000 of them were State fans. Wasn't a lot for the Memphis folks, but
Yeah.
it was well. Wolfpack Nation always travels. I know. Friday 2:30 before Christmas is kind of a weird time to go to a bowl game, but
Yeah.
State showed up.
Yeah, definitely not used to watching a bowl game or going to a bowl game before Christmas for sure.
Mhm.
Definitely interesting, but hey, it is what it is. It's the draw we got, and we'll take it. So, but yeah, no. So again, excited for what's to come for next season. The biggest thing I'll say to in-state fans is once again, we have no clue what's going on in these conversations right now internally within the football program. So anybody who leaves, anybody who stays, whatever it may be, there is nothing of the know. It is complete speculation. So just hang
on.
tight. Let's
Yeah.
let the pieces fall first, and
Yep.
then we'll react. So is that fair?
Yeah, that's a great point because you're seeing all kinds of different rumors and fodder out there on the boards and the chats and the Twitter or X and Facebook and Instagram, and everyone's throwing around numbers and who's going, who's staying. There's only probably a handful of people that really know what's going on. The rest of it is just people getting into the game, speculating, wanting to say that they're in the know. Wait for official things to come out before, because again, if these guys haven't left, people can start going off on social media, and that might be the difference of whether they decide to stay or go. We want to make sure that we're doing everything to try to keep these players. So we want to make sure that we stay positive in all of our messaging.
Yep. Yeah, no, Michelle saying nobody really knows except the players themselves. I mean, pretty much. I mean, obviously coaching staff is in the know, the NIL staff, general management, things like that. But again, there's just things are so fluid right now. There's 1,000 conversations going on right now at the same time. And so just hold off in terms of, giving crap to Dorn or whatever it may be, because again, it just could have been maybe a player was asking for too much. Maybe it just wasn't, he wasn't the right fit.
Maybe the team didn't want the player back.
That happens too. Maybe he wanted more playing time. Like, who knows? That's the thing. We just do not know. So just hold tight to it, and let's let the pieces fall first. And then once the team is together, then we'll discuss it from there. So unless any player goes to UNC. No, I'm just messing.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. Bobby P, baby's here to save the day.
I'm not even talking about that nonsense.
Oh my God, that was just great. I'm like,
you fire one former NFL head coach to bring in another former NFL coach.
Yep,
got it. I said I'm not talking about it.
Yeah. Let's here. I think I saw Joe said it best. Like, hey, let's put together a collection of the most unlikable, old, out of their prime coaches and put them in a room together. All right, and let's connect with the youth by doing that. Okay, guys, like that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, I'm like, dude, even UNC fans at this point are like, screw it. Like, what are we doing? Like, forget about it. So anywho though, so want to jump on over here real quick here. and give a shout out here to men's soccer. Let's talk a little bit of men's soccer here before we start talking some basketball here. Greg, I know you were there both games. Carson, were you there for the finals?
I was there for both
Let's
games
go.
as
You're
well.
there both too. I mean, again, it's so funny because I put out a couple tweets saying wow, like shout out to this team, shout out to Coach Hubbard, for what they have accomplished this season, the last 2 seasons of what they have accomplished. Really bringing this program from a place of mediocrity, like oh yeah, that's right, we have a men's soccer program, to one of definitely deservedly so, potentially one of the best players, one of the best teams in the country, and really setting the stage for elite success over the next few years, decade, you name it. I mean, Coach Hubbard's young, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. He's raising a family here in Raleigh. He loves it here. I can say that on good conscience. And especially now, with what NC State fans are able to show, there's a lot of the world is Coach Hubbard's oyster now. Like, he can go to any player across the world and show them what it's been like over the last year with the players, with the fans, etc. And any player across the country would love to come and be a part of it. But obviously there's a couple people saying, oh, taking the moral victories, like why can't we have a national championship? We gotta take the moral victory route. When it's like, I don't know, Carson, I want to get your thoughts here, but I kind of, at the end of the game, when Washington won, I was like, you know what? I mean, hey, listen, their backs were against the wall, and they were the better team in overtime. When that ball went in, I said, you know what? They had put pressure on us. They'd really answered the bell, and shot. Hats off to them. That's really kind of how I left the game. Hats off to them, but also too, let's celebrate the success of what men's soccer was able to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of fans that night were just like, man, I just hate losing. But if you watch the championship game, right, we put ourselves in a hole. Not Washington did not put us in the hole. We put ourselves in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
And we responded very well in the last 20 minutes. So you can see that the culture of this don't give up, don't ever give up is there, right? And this was only year 2 of Coach Hubbard, and they make it all the way there.
Mm-hmm.
That should make everyone excited for the future of NC State men's soccer.
Mm-hmm. Simple as that. Greg, what was your experience like being there? I mean, because I'm sitting there saying, hey, all of a sudden now we're also now a men's soccer school as well, because, man, there's a lot of fans there excited about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you know me. I'm not the biggest soccer fan, but I'm probably one of the biggest NC State fans. So if I have the ability to go support a team, no matter who it is, what sport it is, I'm going to. So I just wanted to be there and be supportive. I don't know the first thing about soccer, but I had a good time. It was fun. The only negative 2 things for me was we lost and it was cold. Other than that, it was a great time. You have 2 guys, in Philip and is it Philip or Phillips?
It's Philip.
Yeah, Philip and what's his name? Nico.
Or
Yeah.
He was taken in the number one overall.
Correct. Yeah, Preacher Man saying that here. But he has the ability to come back if he wants to. They both have eligibility left, so and they're both up for the Herman Award. So you could particularly have your 2 best players back next year if they want to go see unfinished business finished. It will be interesting to see if that happens. But like, you can kind of run this thing back, and you can get even better now that you've progressed. Like last year, you went to the Sweet 16. This year, you went to the College Cup final. That will bring people in, to the program, that put your program on in the limelight to say, hey, we're building something here, or we've already built it. Like, I feel like it's built now. Now you just got to go finish it. So now let's go get more talent. Let's go acquire more talent and get even better. And this is a program that can be reckoned with for a lot of years to come.
Yeah. But the big frustrating thing for me in that championship game as good as Logan Erb played throughout the whole season, that one play right before half
Yeah.
where he
He
came
came
out
out
of
on
the
his
goalie
line.
box, he
Yeah.
came out of the goalie box and tried to dive kick it. I was like, man, what are you doing? The guy has defenders chasing him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, worst case, make him earn it a little bit more, like, that was just way too easy.
Yeah.
I know he made the initial kinda stop, but then he didn't clear it, and the other guy was able to kinda pick it off and just easily put it into the net.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, again, hindsight's 2020, that's an easy one, but coming out just from from seeing it in the stands and being from a fan perspective, I felt like this was not gonna end well, and I was
Yeah.
right. Again, not knowing enough about soccer and, you can make some analogies with hockey because it's kind of the same thing as, the goalie trying to come out and make a play on
Mhm.
them and maybe try to do a poke check or whatever there.
Yeah.
Um, it's a do or die play, essentially what it was,
Yeah.
and he just didn't make the play cleanly. And,
Nope.
you know, probably if you asked him to do it again, he probably doesn't try to come out and make that challenge. I don't
Yeah.
think, given the magnitude of what that game was.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but hey, listen, like, and that's why, honestly, because yeah, I mean, I honestly went like when we went down 2-0, definitely very frustrated for sure that it just seemed like we just were not taking advantage of opportunities once again, especially since they were there. We weren't playing our best defensively, like you were saying as well. But again, the fact that you saw our backs absolutely up against the wall, and with 27 minutes left, we're able to come back and tie the game. I mean, that was super impressive to say the
Yeah.
least, for sure. So again, and honestly too, because here's my thing as well, is the fact that Washington, the last time they had made it to the national championship, which was 3-4 years ago, they lost in a national championship game.
Yeah,
So
to
it's,
Clemson.
yeah, so it's kind of, like my thought is a sign of, hey, listen, Washington's been here, they've lost it once already, so hey, hats off to them, they were able to get it done. Definitely. Who was it? The game before was St. Louis we played against in
St.
the
Louis.
first, like that one guy. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. That one guy for St. Louis, that the forward who was just a God. We couldn't stand him the whole night. I mean, Washington. I mean, I didn't really have an issue. It was honestly just two very physical teams that were going at it. Now, I don't really know what it is with the refereeing. I think for both games, they just did not like NC State whatsoever, and we're definitely calling a lot against NC State. But hey, listen, you gotta celebrate the highs for sure, because definitely where we are now compared to we were a year ago, 2 years ago, is night and day.
Night and
Especially
day.
since it definitely seems like you were saying, Greg, there's a very realistic possibility that Donovan Phillip comes back for next season. I mean, he definitely sounded like it in the post-game press conference. So
which
definitely kind of brought it up.
says a lot about the culture of that locker room as well. Because soccer is one of those sports where if you're an All-American, you're most likely going to go pro the next year.
And go make some money. Yeah. Yep. No, absolutely. And especially a guy like him, who I would be surprised if he doesn't win the National Player of the Year award. So, but we'll see. Time will tell here
Yeah,
in a little
he
bit.
tied for the league excuse me, not league, college, the NCAA goal lead. So,
Yeah.
you had, 3 of your best players were up the middle.
Yep.
But what we need to do before we go on and move on to the next segment of whatever we're gonna talk about,
Yep.
let me remind you, Boo Corrigan hired that
Mark Hubbard.
Mr. Mark Hubbard. So,
Mhm.
Boo needs some love.
All the
Like,
love.
yeah. So again, he continues to do to find diamonds in the rough, if you will.
Mhm.
Like again, who's going to Maine and New Hampshire to get a college coach for soccer?
Mhm.
Like it
Yeah.
just doesn't, because he was at New Hampshire first, and then went to Maine, then he came to state. Like you. You just don't think of hey, I'm gonna find my next head men's soccer coach at Maine. It just
Mhm.
doesn't feel like a thing. But
Yeah.
that Boo did
But
his
then you
due
also
diligence.
factor in the fact that, okay, Northeast soccer,
Yeah, sure.
that you factor that logic in, and
Yeah.
great hire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, agreed. I was just talking about it from a like, typically a coach from Maine isn't making a jump to a P4 team. That's all. That's
No.
the point I
Yeah,
was just trying to
not
make there.
immediately.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
because I mean, because especially too, because when we interviewed Coach Hubbard, I mean, he basically said like, listen, I have young kids. I wanted to be somewhere, in a family friendly area, that I could raise my kids for the next 10 years or so, and Raleigh was a great place for it. So I'm gonna go out on a hunch and say that he didn't call up Boo Corrigan and be like, hey, I saw you fired your coach. Would you like for me to come down, interview? Probably not. He probably had to go and go digging through to find that he's interesting. Be like, oh, well, you can come to Raleigh. Raleigh is a great place to raise a family, and yeah, I mean, it's just love it. The fact that that Boo isn't just like, okay, let me just focus on football. Like, let me just laser focus on basketball and just make sure that is set. Like he really is an athletic director. I mean, he can really, change depending on, again, the need, because again, if you're looking for a men's soccer coach, you're going to have to think a little bit differently than if you're looking for a softball coach or if you're looking for a baseball coach. Like, you're going to have to think differently. So, yeah. And also, too, again, the fact that pretty much every coach that he's hired so far is showing promise or has been a home run already. One of the
I mean,
two.
look at the women's soccer team. I mean, they started the season not in a very positive way at all. And then once ACC play started, they were playing a lot better. It seemed that the culture was changing. The fan base started uniting around them. And yeah, I'm friends with a couple players on the women's team, and they love Coach Higgins.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I think that's one just like that you put him into the shows promise category for sure. So yeah, no, completely agree, Greg. All the love and support. The few Boo Corrigan haters out there, I don't know what else you need, honestly. What else could you honestly ask for?
Honestly, they will just never get over 2021 baseball. And I think that's the only quote unquote negative mark that Boo carries with a lot of people is the handling of the bowl game, or excuse me, out of the College World Series. And again, at the end of the day, he had nothing he could have done to reverse any of those decisions. So for those that are just hating him, you're just hating him just to hate him, and it's ridiculous. He's done wonderful things for this program.
Yep. So again, huge shout out to Boo Corrigan. So excited about what he's accomplished here, and again, excited for him to keep going. But also too, for hiring this man, Will Wade, who I am telling you guys, man, I am loving this guy, dude. I am loving his mindset. I'm loving what he's saying. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Like, even if you're up 20 points on Ole Miss, that there's a picture of him with his hands in his face, just so upset. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about right there. That is what that is what I have been looking for. Somebody who's saying that's not good enough. Like never saying, well, you know what? Hey, guess what, guys? We're up by 20 on Ole Miss. It's fine, guys. It's fine. We'll figure it out. Like, no, like, hey, Darren Williams, you messed up there on that defensive coverage. You're going to the bench. Like, again, guys, I just love the hey, it's great that we have a 3.0. If we were in kindergarten, like it just
I'm not running a daycare here.
I'm not running a daycare here. Exactly. Like, it's just I mean, I just want to talk about that here first. That, I mean, yes, for sure, the results that we've seen have not been there, but you got to feel good at what you've seen from the man at the helm. That's going to get figured out here, and it looks like it's being figured out as we speak.
Yeah, I always hate comparing us to that other school in blue down the road.
Yep.
But I will say, if you're looking at the net rankings and the Kim Palms, like, yes, we just finally got our quote unquote first P4 win of the season, but we're not in bad shape when you look at those things. And it reminds me a lot of like what North Carolina was getting the benefit of the doubt last year for.
Yeah.
And I know we made fun of that at the time, but now we're reaping some of those kind of, like, he hasn't messed around with the schedule. And so when you schedule really good opponents, you get some leeway in some of what you're doing, and it's given him time to figure this out. And I feel like this is going to be a thing for college sports, as you've seen year in, year out. You're basically flipping your squad at least 50% every year. In this case, it was like 95%. And it's just going to take time for you to figure out who you got and what you got.
Yeah. I mean, just who's going to be the leader again? Like,
Who's your dogs?
who's your dogs?
To use his words.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, Carson, I mean, I'm looking at yesterday's game. Again, I definitely, I mean, we definitely got to talk about Paul McNeil here, breaking a school record for threes here. But
And
I do
tied
want
the
to talk.
ACC record.
Yeah, tie the AC record, right? And they like, I'm telling you, it was so funny. Whoever we played against, I can't remember who we
Texas
played against
Southern.
now. Texas Southern, yeah. They were literally like basically willing to just foul him just to make sure he did not get any kind of clean 3-pointer off. They were dead set on, you are not going to be putting our name in the AC record book of Paul McNeil with a record versus Texas Southern. It's not going to happen. But I really do look at yesterday's game and say to myself, man, like, Darian Williams had 1 point against Ole Miss. He had 1 point. Like, the guy that Carson that going season was the crown jewel, was preseason AC Player of the Year, which we could definitely talk about him a good bit in his own segment. But he literally had 1 point. And so I bet you, Carson, that if you asked yourself, if you asked a lot of NC State fans, hey, Darian Williams is going to get you 1 point, you would probably say your chances of winning are not very high. But the fact that you answered with three different guys getting double-digit points, still shooting 51% from the field, 41% from three. You got to feel pretty good about that, knowing that more than likely whatever's going on with Darian right now, whether it's this injury thing or whatever is kind of lingering with him a little bit, is going to get figured out. Like, you got to feel really good about that. And there's one guy in particular I really want to highlight, but I want to kind of get your thoughts here first about just what you've seen specifically against Ole Miss in terms of what that could mean for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I thought the ball movement was really well done. I thought Kadir Copeland, I love that guy.
MVP so far this season.
I got a couple of stories from the game I want to share here in a minute.
Yeah, no, that was the guy. I'm like, dude, Kadir Copeland has been the savior of this team so far this season. Like, he has led us throughout the highs, the lows, from an emotional perspective, from a play perspective, you name it. He's been Mr. All Reliable this entire season so far, which preseason ain't no way anybody, I mean, people were just trying to figure out if he's even starting. And
people thought, I think a lot of people thought he was going to be like the sixth man.
Yeah.
Sort of just like that senior leadership figure, but he has definitely shown up in a very positive way for Wolfpack fans.
Huge. Yeah. And for me, Greg, I do ask you, I mean, knowing that, he did spend some time with Will Wade at McNeese, things like that, does that...
Yeah, he is Will Wade's guy.
He's Will Wade's guy. Like, look what you're getting from a guy that's been in Will Wade's system now for 2 years. And so do you kind of take that as a little bit of a positive spin?
Yeah, there's no doubt that he's the bridge between the coaching staff and the players, and that
he's the leader.
He's able to translate what the coaching staff is wanting of the guys, and that he can go, like, again, just hypothetically saying, like, if one of the players feels like they're getting coached too hard by Wade, Kadir can pull him aside. Hey, man, that's just his love. He's just trying to get the best out of you, blah, 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 blah. There's no disrespect there. Like, he's just trying to push your buttons to get you to go to another level in order to get this team to where we need to be. Like, I feel like he's that guy where coach doesn't have to say something. Kadir can kind of already, read his mind and go, all right, I got to go talk to my guys. Like, we need to kind of just, talk this out amongst ourselves. And I think that's an important quality that he has that, doesn't show up in a stat line somewhere, but it helps other people's stats. Just yesterday, just a real quick story on him. Like, you could just tell the fire he has. Like, he's always talking. He's always, like, either jabbing at the other team, talking to his guys, like, shoot the ball. Like, I could hear. So we were courtside, and he's like, shoot it, man, shoot it. Like, when McNeil or Breed, or I think there was even one with Trey, like, he's like, just shoot it, man. Like, just trust yourself. And I think sometimes, like you were talking about that ball movement earlier, Carson, I think we're trying to do too much sometimes instead of just taking the easy play. If you make the shot, great. If you don't, you don't. But during one of the timeout breaks, I got the Wolfpack chant going with the other side, and so then Q was like they were coming out of the timeout, and we're going Wolfpack, and he's doing the whole like pointing out each side what to say.
Mhm.
And so he's one of those guys that plays off of that energy, right? And I think there's a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
guys on this team that play off that energy, and I think that's real important for us as fans to keep our players engaged in these games and pick them up when they need it. And
Mhm.
yeah, you could just definitely feel that they feed off of one another. And I think there's a lot of good team chemistry going on. And now it's just about, okay, who can coach trust? Because he kind of mentioned that in his, he needs to see, like, especially from like Arsenault and Dang. He says, like, I need to see them do it in practice, so then I can trust them to get them doing a game, and then I need to see them do it in a game. And I think that's just what he's still trying
Dang
to
did
figure
not
out.
play against Ole Miss.
He did not. He
No,
did
yeah,
not.
he's definitely been one of the guys that's been chopped out as a part of the rotation, I think.
Yeah, and Arsenault too. Like,
And Arsenal too, right? Well, and again, it just comes down to they just haven't been, just like you said, Greg. It just there's a standard here. We can't just play a guy just to play a guy.
right.
Because we do have a lot of those guys that could play. It just so
Look,
it's
let me go back.
it's an
Yeah, go
interesting
ahead. Sorry.
thing. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, I just want to
Go
go back
ahead.
to
Go back to
Williams
what?
again because I don't want. I just want to go
Please.
back to Williams and talk stats a little bit. His points per game last year was 15.1. He's at 14.8 right now this season. So you're getting his stat line, but I think what Wolfpack Nation was hoping for is that he would kind of take another step up, right? Like that
Correct.
15 would get to like 18, 19.
Correct.
And I think that's just not what they haven't seen from him yet. But I mean, his blocks are slightly down from 0.4 to 0.2. His steals are cut in half. His personal fouls are slightly up. His turnovers are down though. And then his free throw shooting is down a little bit, but his 3-point shooting is up.
Yeah.
So again, you're getting kind of what his stat line says he's going to be. But I think with Coach Wade and everybody else, I think they're just wanting to see another gear from him. I think they'd want him to step it up a notch.
I want to win a game because of Darian Williams. You know what I mean? Like I want to win a big game because of Darian Williams. Like,
Right.
yeah, we
Well,
beat
he almost
VCU,
got you there against Kansas,
but that's the thing. He had
Yeah.
opportunities to win that game, but couldn't
Yeah.
quite get it done.
yeah.
So
Well,
so that's what I'm saying. And that might seem harsh because I do agree with you, Greg. Like, yes, he has shown positives. Say even in Kansas game, he still got you 4 assists, got you 10 rebounds. Like he played well, but you don't get a guy like that to play well. You get a guy like that to go win you a game.
right.
You
And
know?
I think to that point too, there's a lot of assumptions. Again, people think they know what they know, but they really don't know it. Is everyone assumes that he's, $2.5, $3 million player. They're wanting him to put the team on his back. And, and I think they're just looking for that killer instinct from him that you team jump on my back. I'm going to get you to the finish line here. And I think, again, I think, he's got to get there. I think he's too good of a player not to get there. I just think people need to be a little bit patient. We still have half a season left because now we're just getting into ACC play. We're starting next Wednesday. I think he's going to. I think when it's all said and done, he's going to win us several games. I have no doubt about it. It's just he's just trying to find himself, and I think, again, going back to Coach Wade, I think he's just he wants these guys to just go play hard. And I think I will say you definitely have started to see the turnaround on the defensive end. I thought other than Council
Wow, that was impressive.
against Kansas, I thought they did a really good job locking down 3 points. Like the only time that Mississippi got threes yesterday was in transition, and when ironically Williams didn't get over the screen and get there. But I thought we did a really good job of letting the guys that we were comfortable shoot threes, and they didn't beat us. And again, Council against Kansas, like he just had a freaking career day, like shocker. But it just always feels that some dude has a career day against us, and that's how we lose a game. And it's gonna be all right. Like I think we're still in really good shape based on Kim Palm and the net rankings right now. We're right where we need to be.
Yeah.
I was during the Kansas game, I was thinking to myself, this must have been what Duke fans felt like when Dennis Smith Jr. went to Cameron.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's a good
basically.
analogy. That's a good
Yeah,
analogy.
it's a good analogy. Yeah, no, I mean, definitely you're an NC State fan, you're saying to yourself, there's a lot of meat that we left on this bone. But the good thing for NC State this year is the ACC is really good this year. The
Yeah.
ACC is really good this year. There's a lot of opportunities, still a lot of meat left on the bone to be picked. So like I think what was it? There's like 8 teams in the top 40 net, something like that from the ACC.
Yeah, way more than we had last year. I think we had like
Way
2
more.
or 3.
Yeah.
I think it's easily doubled.
Louisville's ranked, Virginia, Duke, Carolina. I think Miami's better.
Yeah.
Clemson's up there.
Yeah, Clemson's
So
Wake Forest is decent. They're top. They're at 60, so they're just outside the top 50.
Yeah, Wake almost beat Michigan.
Yeah,
they should have beat Michigan.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you got Boston College looking really good.
No.
Anyway,
maybe not very good either. They're in transition, year after Leonard Hamilton, but
that's okay. Hey,
no, there's a lot of opportunity where, I
mean,
losing an ACC game isn't going to be as detrimental as it was last year.
No, I mean, you're probably going to have at least 7 or 8 more Q1 opportunities this year, if based on how it's looking this year. So yeah, no, and it really starts here, with after Christmas with Wake Forest. That's a big first game.
Dumb time. What's just another dumb time for a game? Like,
yeah. What is it?
It's noon on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. No, dumb time.
Not everybody's off.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, with that being said, Texas Tech defeated Duke. No one's perfect.
That one was tough. They gave up a 17-point lead in the second half.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
It was a lot like that Houston game.
But see, that's my thing, though. Once again, though, is that if you're Duke right now, you are really scratching your head going, if Cameron Boozer's not playing his best, who the heck's going to carry the weight? They have nobody really to carry the weight. Yep, he is. And that's another thing I could even say about Carolina as well with Caleb Wilson. He's carrying it. But with NC State, there's not really one guy carrying it. Anybody can get you. So with that being said, I want to give Paul McNeil his much due flowers for sure, who I mean definitely has been struggling over the last few weeks for sure. Definitely has gone very quiet, had a couple of 0-point games. But man, did he decide to light up the board? Now I wish it was against a team that was
Carolina, Duke, Kansas.
Yeah, Carolina, Duke to do that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But hey, it's good to see. As the meme says, I got my swagger back. Is like, all right, now he's starting to feel it now and shooting 6 for 12 from 3 against Ole Miss. Yeah, I think he's trying to figure something out a little bit here. So. But I am curious because it seems like for sure we're definitely working our way towards what this rotation is going to look like. I mean, and it's honestly the biggest surprise for me is how much Breed has actually become part of this rotation. Like he's a solidified part of this rotation.
Yeah, we thought he was going to be one of those guys on the outside looking in, like an 8-9, spot on the roster, but he's like you're seeing him starting more and then bringing Trey off the bench. And so like to your point, like you're starting to see some of these roles carved out. You're seeing Scotty getting a little bit of playing time because Wade said he can trust the guy. Like he's a dog. Like he goes out and gives everything he has. And what he lacks in skill, it's hard, right? Like at the end of the day, coach just wants effort and guys to play hard. And again, you saw that yesterday. Like we were really good on the defensive glass. Just stopping.
Huge emphasis.
Yeah. Just rebounding, playing defense. Those things. The one thing that still scares me in these close games is free throw shooting. We did not shoot very well from free throws yesterday. I think that would be one of the negatives.
Yep.
We were up by 30 in the first half and then just kind of coasted a little bit at the end. It was crazy how many players Ole Miss played. They played 13 dudes. Like it was like hockey. They were running line changes out there. It was just Coach Beard was just not happy with his guys. I could hear where we were sitting, I could hear like all the different conversations, and Coach Beard and I actually had a couple of words against each other. It was pretty funny. Um, um, I made light remarks of their big guy shooting a three, and it was an air ball, and I was like, "Zero, you need to play within the system." And then Coach Beard just starts laughing and he goes, "Yeah, he does." And I was just like, "Oh, damn,
Oh,
okay."
shoot.
And
Okay.
yeah, we were bantering a little bit, and he was talking about how much he enjoys Coach Wade, and he's like, "That's a Coach Wade play. You need to clap for that." And I was like, "Okay, coach, I'll clap." You know, uh, so I definitely had a newfound perspective on Chris Beard yesterday.
Love
Um,
that.
but yeah, at the end of the day, um, just need effort from these guys. I think he can live with some of these mistakes that these guys are making if it's effort plays. Um, the interesting thing is we were talking about roles being carved out. You're starting to see a little less Matt Abel at the time right now, and I don't
Mhm.
know. Again, I don't know if that's by on purpose or design, um,
Yeah.
but I don't know if he was just trying to give him a really good tryout during the non-conference slate. But maybe now we're getting into conference play. Um, I think that bench is gonna tighten up. Though he doesn't want to. He says he wants to play 8, but he can't really find an 8 right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I just think that for him, it's just a little bit more adjustment, a little bit more, taking the next step, specifically on the defensive side that you haven't seen from him, that you're starting to see a little bit more from Paul. But I think it's also too a little bit more of really kind of feeding in, because I mean, one thing with Wade is that he loves feeding the hot hand, and right now with Paul playing as well as he is, like you're going to give him a good stretch here for the next few games to see if he can continue to ride this thing. But if he starts to linger, fall off a little bit, then maybe you see Matt come back into the loop a little bit here. But I think with the amount of guys that you have here, for Matt able to not be a 20 minute piece, I'm not really shocked by,
Yeah.
so, but time will tell here for sure. Time will tell. So,
Yeah, and to kinda close the loop on Paul McNeil, like, I think for him, it's just not getting too high, getting too low, just stay confident in his shot, just you could tell, like, he's a super streaky shooter. Like, when he's
mhm,
feeling it, like, that bucket looks like the damn ocean. Like, he
yep,
can just drop it in there, and it's gonna fall.
yep,
And I think, again, going back to Q, he wants these guys that, like, "Hey, just stay confident, like, keep putting it up, we're there for you."
mhm,
Um, but yeah, I think, Lubin is we're getting a lot out of Lubin, and we're
yep,
getting, um, if you can get Trey Holloman just kinda just ma like, if you can get what you got from Trey Holloman yesterday, I think, we're gonna be in really good shape, and then
yep,
kinda that X factor breed,
mhm,
Holloman shooting like 40% from 3,
yep,
um so if our threes are falling, we're gonna be very, very hard to beat. We've been shooting 40-50% from 3 those last couple of games.
agreed.
And it kinda makes me mad that we don't play for a week and a half because
Yeah,
these guys are in rhythm right now.
yeah, now's the time to strike while the iron's hot for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but Carson, here, I wanna spend, a few more minutes here on 2 other, sports here before we wrap up here. Got to talk about some women's basketball here on a 4-game winning streak here. Beating Seton Hall 61-53, a dominant win over Miami by 26, another dominant win versus Georgia Tech, and then a road win on a very sneaky Davidson team here for sure. And the story of this team so far, definitely the public story is Zamaria Jones has really
Yes.
stepped in big time for sure. Now, for me, I think a little bit more of the story is Camille Pierre, because man, I'm loving what I've been seeing over the last 5 games from Camille Pierre in terms of what she could do on all sides, rebounding and scoring and defense, you name it. But yeah, definitely Zam kind of taking over from especially with Zoe kind of not playing her best ball right now, I think has been the game changer for sure so far.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you want your backcourt to be well, and I feel like Zam has sort of taken that Sanaya Rivers kind of role.
Mhm.
Um, and I think she's done it very well. I mean, obviously, you want Zoe to be that big leadership player because she's the veteran, right? but I think Zam has responded very well. But another thing, really like what I've seen off of Pierre as well. I think she's gotten a lot better. I think Samuels has gotten a lot better as well.
Yeah, definitely not recency bias there, going 0 for 4 from the field for Samuels. But yes, definitely over the last 5 games.
Oh yeah, over the last few weeks, yes.
Yeah, agree with that. Yeah, but also too, I mean, like Greg, I'm really again sitting here thinking, God, what if we didn't get Pierre there at the last minute? Like, how would this team have looked? It's crazy to think about though, because Pierre really has been a anchor for a rebounding perspective, but also now from a scoring perspective. I mean, she's led the team in scoring 3 of the last 5 games. I mean, that doesn't, if she didn't come in at the last minute, holy smokes, this team would have looked a lot different.
Yeah, vastly different. And I don't know if our win total would be the same right now.
Heck
with
no.
that being said,
Yeah,
just not that this is gonna sound right, but another person's trash is another man's treasure. Just because they weren't wanted somewhere doesn't mean that they're gonna get just not a player worthy of this caliber. And to find someone of this magnitude and this talent that late in the process, it's like, yeah, I'll take a flyer on this. I'll take a flyer on this and see how it pans out for me. And it's been a game changer. She single-handedly helped us win that Tennessee game to open the season. She's just been a very key cog in this, and that I don't think that we're nowhere near the team that we are without her. And she's been clutch in a lot of different moments so far this season.
Agreed. Yeah, just like Michelle saying, Samuels being a great defender definitely helps the team as well. So loving what we're seeing. Definitely got to continue to build off it here. But looks like that women's basketball started to figure some things out, and love seeing the maturity come through from Zamaria Jones as well.
Congrats to Zoe on 1,000 points.
Yes, congrats. Congrats to being the first players to score 1,000 points against Davidson. I don't know if you saw that, Greg, at all.
I heard about it. I didn't see it. I was at the men's game. Yeah,
that was a funny wording, for sure. So, but lastly though, and because I was gonna do it anyway, but I got called out by a certain wrestling reporter who wanted to make sure that we were going to talk about it. But got to wrap this thing up talking about some NC State wrestling here. As yesterday was a very fun day. Basically we had 3 duels back to back in Reynolds Coliseum that were really only 5 minutes between each duel. So it was a marathon for sure of wrestling that happened yesterday in Reynolds Coliseum. Obviously, a couple of guys compete every match. Mostly your Vincent Robinson, your Isaac Trumbull. But for most of the other weights, it was kind of, give the big guys a match or 2 and then kind of let some of the backups get in there, see how they do. But yeah, just like Michelle saying, Isaac Trumbull, he's back. Holy smokes, he's back. Yeah. He is on a tear right now, man. Yeah. Everybody who was worried and whatever, like, oh, what's happening with him? Hey, listen, patience. The beast was just in a slumber, and now he is awakened, y'all. And holy smokes, he is here to win a national championship. There are a couple guys this year. I mean, Vincent Robinson, who's the returning champ, number 1 overall right now, number 1 in the country. You see that. Isaac Trumbull being a guy. Yep. Need to keep watch out for him on winning a national championship. Maddie Singleton, who's had a couple of rough losses. I still 100% see him being in the picture to win the national championship. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, Will Denny, who's been super impressive, number 15 in the country right now, is really impressed. Corey Bleskins as well, number 7 in the country. I mean, we have 5 different wrestlers right now ranked in the top 7, in their weight class. So
it's crazy, man.
It's crazy. I mean, so
and we talked about this last year, that last year wasn't going to be the year. It was this. It was all setting up to be. This was going to be the run this year.
Yeah, and this is definitely, and because the thing is too is that again, I mean, like state wrestling hasn't really started off that strong. I mean, lost a duel during the Invitational against Virginia Tech, which you don't like. But again, I mean, just like, hey, listen, it's early in the season. Definitely there's a big kind of reset that happens at the turn of the year. like really for me, most of this really before January 1st is kind of the preseason in my
Yeah,
opinion.
just kind
But
of
then
setting up things.
yeah, exactly. So, so yeah, it's setting up big time, for a really, really exciting finish here, especially being that the AC Championship tournament is going to be in Blacksburg. So that is going to be, yeah, Greg, that is going to be a interesting finish for sure. So, yeah, I'm no excited about wrestling, and just like Preacher Man says as well, team wasn't at full strength. Definitely some guys getting back to full strength, and I think you're starting to see it now. But man, Isaac Trumbull, watch out for that guy. Holy smokes. Yeah, but with that being said, I want to wrap up by asking one fun question here as we kind of wrap up 2025 here, y'all. And I want to hear your answers to this in the chat here as well. But Carson, if you had to pick one NC State moment from 2025 that is a favorite of yours that you want to highlight from this year, what would it be?
Ooh,
I know I'm putting you on the spot here, bud.
There's two that come to my mind.
I love it.
Women's basketball against Notre Dame, and then the football game against Georgia Tech. It's between those two.
I like it. All right, I love it. Greg, what you got, bud?
Yeah, I was gonna take the low hanging fruit myself. Was Georgia Tech game number 50 in a row for me. Getting to kind of rush the field when I couldn't rush the field against Carolina. I think it's my moment. Carson, that women's basketball moment, sneaky good. That was one that, if people weren't paying attention, you easily forgot about.
Yeah,
that was a really good one.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun because
double overtime or just single overtime.
Yeah, it was double overtime.
It was double overtime. Yeah.
College game day, and we got there like 6:15 a.m. And the student line to get in was already at the Jimmy V statue.
At 6 hours before the door even opened.
4 hours before the door opened.
It opened at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it opened at noon. Okay. Yeah. That was a really good one. Yeah, I mean, you could throw in women. Vince. I was thinking Vince winning a national championship. I was thinking women's cross country winning another national championship. Lots of good moments. My second moment is it's 52 days away from baseball. So that's my second favorite moment of the 2025 year. It's 52 days away from NC State Pac-9 baseball.
Yep, I love it.
We'll be in Puerto Rico here in 2 months.
That's right. Yeah, it's crazy to think about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for me, I mean, yeah, watching Vince win was so cool. But also too, like, yeah, the hiring of Will Wade, that was a big moment for sure. I love that. For me, like, yeah, Vince winning is huge. I mean, again, first true freshman to win at the 125 weight class. It's just insane to think about that you get him for this year. And I mean, we'll see what happens for next year, but excited to see it for this year because that dude's fun to watch. But what was it? I completely blanked on it. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking through everything here. Cross country.
I mean, maybe welcoming. Oh, is this strictly related to NC State? Is it your favorite state moment or your favorite moment of 2025?
State moment, I believe. Okay. Yeah.
How about when your little one put a state outfit on for the first time? Like that can count. That's a state moment, right? That counts as a state moment.
Yeah. No. For those who are unaware, my wife and I welcomed our first NC State repping son here for sure on November 1st. And excited to have them, and we're doing great. But definitely, it's been an interesting last few months for sure. Definitely not going to the last few NC State football games. Like I wasn't there, unfortunately, for the Georgia Tech game. But it's definitely awesome. Excited to take him to his first NC State basketball game here in a few weeks. So looking forward to it. It's gonna be awesome. I never was Trent Hidlay World Championship.
Good one.
That for me is one because I'm going to pick it because it's up there for me.
That's a technicality. That's an asterisk.
Well, yeah, it's an asterisk. But I mean, just think about that, Greg. A world championship that's never been done in state.
Like, totally get it.
And it really takes. We had our guy here from Mr. Wrestling came on here and talked about it. It takes the entire program up a notch automatically.
It does.
So
It does.
but yeah, no, hiring Will Way is a good one. Robinson win national championship for sure. Cross country. Even you could talk about men's and women's tennis. I mean, where they're going. It's a great time right now to be a NC State fan, y'all. I'm
Yeah,
telling
you had a women's
So-
double championship, national championship, and so
Mhm.
lots
Yeah.
of ones to prove. Hopefully, we make a lot more good ones in 26. I would love, love to make another College World Series run with this group, and I think it's possible. And we'll talk about
Yes.
it here in a couple of weeks when we start previewing baseball because it's almost here.
Oh, Greg is slobbering at the lips, and I love it. And also, too, Carson, if I might throw one other honorable mention as well, I would say that another big positive or big moment for me this year was beating Greg in the quarterfinals of our fantasy playoffs. That was pretty nice too, as well. But so with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate y'all, and hopefully y'all enjoyed this. If you did, do us a big favor. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube. Hit that like button. That would greatly help us as well and really supports the channel. And if you listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to us, do us a big favor and leave a 5-star review. Greatly appreciate that as well. And make sure to give us a follow at Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. But with that being said, as Preacher Man says, Merry Christmas, y'all. Really appreciate y'all. Love y'all. It's just such a fun every single time we get an opportunity to interact with y'all in person, but even here on the live show as well. So, definitely, again, looking forward to what 2026 has to hold, and hopefully many AC championships and a few national championships will be great as well. But with that being said, we'll see y'all soon. And as always, go Pack, y'all, and Merry Christmas, y'all.